Next person.
Mine is actually snakes too.
Say again?
Mine is actually snakes too.
Okay, so what happens when you think about snakes now?
I don't think about them because I will literally pass out.
You just think of it, just a little one way in the distance, and is that strong? Okay, that's fine. That's okay, that's good. Let me just ask you one more thing just to follow up on that. Come back, just before we'll put you back in a happy state. Not thinking about snakes, just the idea that you may have to think about snakes, what's that doing to you right now? Okay, now let it go, let it release, let it flow. Look at me. A little more, look at me. Just let it flow. Let it flow way back in the distance, where it was belonging. There you go, now you're coming back. Welcome back. Keep coming, all the way back. Do you mind if I ask you how old you are? Probably you do in public, right? Say again? You're 42? Excellent. Breathe. There you go. And every time you breathe, you know you're safe. There you go. How are you doing? Back? Right? Sit yourself down and you know what that chair does, don't you? There you go. Welcome back. Thank you. Have a seat here. Don't look so serious. You'll be fine. Have a seat. The first thing you should know once we're setting up is we won't even begin until you're more than ready, okay? We won't even get close to it until you're more than ready, right? The other thing you should know is that once we have a chat and start going with things, well, there's several things you should know. One, if at any point you need a timeout, just say, we'll have a timeout, it'll be real easy, and this is all about you. Number two is once we start, I will stay here no matter if it takes the whole day to make sure whatever we get to the point where you feel safe, where you feel comfortable, that everything is good. So if you decide you want to have a timeout, we'll pull you out. If you decide you want to end it, we'll end it even if it's early, right? Okay. Because it's about you. And if you decide you want to go all the way through, I think you'll surprise yourself with how quick this works.
This is something that I've always...
Oh, let's see if we can get this nice and close.
I can't even really talk right now.
I realize.
This is something that I've always wanted to do.
Right.
But I've just...
I can see it. I can see it.
I can't. I mean, I have to, like, be careful. I live in Redlands, which is in the Inland Empire.
Right.
And I have to be careful where I walk my dogs.
Oh, for sure. So here's the thing. Before we even begin, you realize the difference between, you know, like a tiger trainer, for example, or a lion tamer, right? They realize what they're working with, don't they? Mm-hmm. So there's a difference between being okay around a particular stimulus and doing things that are stupid. There's a huge difference,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And there's lots of people who live in your area, and they're cautious without having to be afraid,
yes.
in that sense. So as long as you understand the distinction, which of course you do,
yes.
then we're good to go, because whatever the fear is that you have is no longer helping you or serving you at that point. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Exactly. So before we even begin, what I'd like you to do is just close your eyes for a minute and calm down. Close your eyes and find something inside of you that's positive, that has nothing to do with any of this. There you go. That's right. No, the other way. Something really nice, something that makes you smile. There you go. What's happening now there? What's that? What's that?
I was thinking that my husband is over there watching out for me.
Yes, he is.
And I have you who's willing to do this for me.
So you got two people who got your back, right?
Yes.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
Yes.
It's a comforting thought, isn't it?
Yes.
So whilst you're sitting on that chair thinking that thought, you know you're safe, don't you?
Yes.
You really know you're safe, don't you? I want you to feel the chair and feel how safe you are. Feel how safe you are. Are you ready? So I'm touching the shoulder right here. The next time you feel this touch, the emotion will start rising up. Not in any way that is too much for you. It'll go right to the point where you can handle it. So when you feel that touch the next time, the emotion will rise. I will ask you to drift back to an earlier memory, right to the earliest one, maybe 7, maybe 6, who knows, something in that range. You won't know, you'll just experience it. Once that's happened, I'll bring you right back out, and then the worst will be over. Understand what I mean? Mm-hmm. You ready for this?
Yes.
This is exciting, because once the worst is over, that's it. You know that. You realize that, don't you? Mm-hmm. Are you ready for it now? So go ahead. Feel that emotion rising up. There it comes. Not so bad now, is it? Because you have your unconscious mind on the side, but it's still pretty strong. So 3, 2, 1, follow it back. Where are you? Inside or outside?
Outside.
Quickly. Alone or with others?
Alone.
That's right. 1, 2, 3. I don't in the room. That's seen way in the distance. Way in the distance. Let it fade all the way in the distance. All the way over there. You see it? All the way. How old are you right now? How old are you in here, in the room with me?
42.
You are 42, aren't you? That was quite a thing, wasn't it? That's quite a rush. Are you calming down again now? That's right. Did I fulfill my promise to you?
Mm-hmm.
It was intense, wasn't it? But you're fine now, aren't you? You're safe now, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
You made it through whatever happened back there, didn't you? You're doing a good job, Stephanie. I hope you're proud of yourself, because believe it or not, the hardest part is over. Do you know that? In a moment's time, you will experience for yourself how you will never need to feel that intense feeling again. Do you realize that? How are you doing right now?
I'm okay.
Good. Now, something very intense happened to little Stephanie over there, didn't it? How old was she, by the way?
I think I was 8 or 9.
About 8 or 9, right? And it was a pretty intense period, right? Now, there's something she thought, something that happened at the time that you and I know isn't true. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
At the time, she thought she would make through whatever that was, right? Because it was pretty intense. Now, you and I both know that she did make it through, that she was safe again afterwards, because otherwise we wouldn't be having this conversation, would we? Right?
That's right.
And of course, you and I also know that before any of this happened, she was also safe, wasn't she? So, how long before this event do you think she was safe? Was it 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, a day, a week? Just,
Forever.
say again?
The whole time.
The whole time before this event, right? So choose a time before this ever happened, when she was safe there. What was that?
Was it right before it happened?
Right before it happened, right?
Yeah.
Where is it?
I was outside coming home from the school bus.
Right, so there she is, little Stephanie, outside, coming home from the school bus. She's fine, isn't she?
Yes.
Right? Then stuff happens, we don't need to talk about that right now. But then it's over again, isn't it? Come back here. It's over there. She's over there. It's over now, all the way back until she's safe. When is she safe again? Stephanie?
Couple hours later,
Couple of hours. Where is she when she's safe?
I'm sitting on my dad's lap in the kitchen.
Okay, back in the room with me, looking at little Stephanie over there. Looking at little Stephanie over there in the kitchen with her dad. Right? She's a little upset, isn't she? But she's safe, isn't she? What's her dad doing?
Rocking her.
He's rocking her, isn't he? Does it make her feel safe? Does it make her feel better? And eventually it all passes and she kind of forgets about the incident again, doesn't she? Eventually. Well, she doesn't think about it all day, every day, does she?
No.
Exactly. So there comes a point where she knows it's happened and it's still intense, but she's not really thinking about it anymore unless someone brings it up, right? When is that? How much after this whole thing? After the rocking with her dad and so on?
While I'm sitting on dad's lap.
Okay? Once again, be Stephanie in the room, watching the scene. Tell me what little Stephanie is doing.
Crying.
Little Stephanie's over there. Can you see her way out in the distance there? Sitting on her daddy's lap? There you go. Isn't it nice to have a daddy like that? Isn't it good?
Yes.
Did he look after little Stephanie?
Yes.
There you go. So here's what we're going to do. In a moment, and you tell me when you're ready for this, right? You're going to be delightfully surprised, because this is what's going to happen. You're going to step inside and be little Stephanie getting off the school bus, everything's fine. We'll zip right through whatever intense period was in the middle, right back until she's safe in her daddy's arms again. Does that make sense? Right? Right back until she's safe in her daddy's arms again. And we'll come back here and have a chat. Now here's something you should realize. However intense that thing was in the middle of there, how you experienced it a few moments ago, it will already have changed.
Promise.
I promise you, it will already have changed. It will still be intense. I won't lie to you. You will still feel a reaction, but it will be nothing like what you experienced a moment ago. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes.
So you'll start at a place of safety, you'll end in a place of absolute safety, and there will be some turbulence in the middle, right? It will happen. I will not kid you on this. But it will be nothing like what you've experienced earlier today. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Then we'll pull you back, and we'll have a little chat. Sound good to you?
Yes.
How's your ear doing? There you go. You let me know when you're ready to step in. You just let me know when you're ready. Don't go on your own.
Okay.
Because I'll come with you. You realize that, right?
Yes.
Are you ready to go? Yes?
Yep.
I'm going to count from 3 down to 1. At the count of 1, you'll step in the safe scene. So you're still fine, right?
Yes.
Things will happen, and they will end. Guaranteed. Yes?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Hey, little Stephanie, what are you doing?
I'm getting off the bus.
That's right. Now, Stephanie, I want you to know something. Stuff's going to happen in a minute. You won't like it, but it's going to be just fine. I promise you this. Is that okay with you? Let time pass. And there it is. And it passes all the way. You're sitting on your daddy's lap, being rocked. There, it's all good now. 1, 2, 3, adult in the room watching the scene. Wow. How was that? Back in the room.
Better.
Wasn't that something? Now, admittedly, that little turbulence in the middle was still not very pleasant, was it? It wasn't, I know. But was it anything like what it was before?
No.
Not even close, was it? Do you know why?
Because I know it's going to be okay.
That's right. Because you know it's going to be okay. That is one of the most important things that little girl over there needed to know, isn't it?
Yes.
And what you've just done, and this is something fantastic, by being brave enough to go through the whole thing, you've allowed that realization to occur. Isn't that something?
Yeah. Yes.
We'd like to make this even better now,
Yes.
right? Because you and I both know she started out safe, she ends up safe, and that stuff in the middle, well, you know, it passes, right? And she kind of knows it because it kind of happened, but what do you think would happen if someone talked to the little girl getting off the bus and warned her? What if you warned her it's going to happen, but it's just fine? She'll make it through, and by the way, she might even start enjoying the thrill of it because she knows no matter what's going to happen, it's only going to end up well, right? Kind of like someone going on a fairground ride.
Yeah.
No matter what's going to happen, it's going to end up well, right?
Yes.
So what I'd like you to do is explain to that little girl just getting off the bus, that little Stephanie over there, I'd like you to explain to her in the ways that only you can explain it to her. That something is going to happen, right? And it's going to be, you know, unpleasant. However, she's going to get right through it. And she's going to get on with her life and have a fantastic life. And if nothing else, she's going to have great people around her. You know what I mean by that?
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready to prepare for this?
Yep.
Go ahead and talk to her. Let her know what's coming. And let her know that it's going to be nowhere near as bad as she thinks because, well, let's face it. You've already experienced how quickly the emotion is drained out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So go ahead and let her know this. And tell me when you're done.
Okay.
How's she doing? How did she take the news?
She's nervous, but okay.
Of course she is. Right, it's the first time she's done this, right?
Yes.
So, I made you a few promises so far, haven't I?
Yes, you have.
Have I kept them?
Yes.
You've experienced them, haven't you not?
Yes.
I'll give you another promise now. In a moment, we'll step back into that little Stephanie getting off the school bus. And this time, with foreknowledge, the experience will be nowhere near as shocking as it was the first time round. And do you know why? Because now she's expecting it. And all the extra energy that comes from something unexpected happening cannot be converted to fear because she's expecting it now. And she knows she's going to be safe. So there's so many different levels at which it cannot be anywhere near as intense anymore. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It'll still be unpleasant, a little bit, but it's going to be nothing like when it first happened. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right? So you tell me when you're ready to do that and experience it for yourself, how quickly that emotion can change. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
You ready now? Good. So the count of 1, 3, 2, 1. Hey, little Stephanie, getting off the bus. What's going on? You know something's going to happen in a minute, right? Yeah, but you'll get through it just fine. Watch this. Time passes. There it is. Nowhere near as bad as you thought. And all the way back into your home with Daddy, sitting in his lap, getting rocked. Wow. You did a good job. 1, 2, 3. Big Stephanie in the room watching the little child over there. Wow. Wasn't that something?
Yeah.
Did you expect that the emotion would drain away so quickly?
No.
You never expected that, did you?
No.
You never realized you could do this, did you? Yet here you are, doing it. How do you feel about yourself having done that? It's pretty good, right?
Proud of myself.
You should be. I know at least one other person in this room that is more than proud of you. Because you've confronted pretty much one of the biggest things in your life, haven't you? Now, we haven't done yet. You'll enjoy what's going to happen in a moment even more. I promise you this. But before we get there, as proud as you are of yourself, here's a question for you. How do you feel about little Stephanie? Because she's so much younger, and she's still willing to go through with it.
Very proud.
Right. As you should be, right?
Yes.
Tell her. Tell her how proud you are of what she's achieved. How does she respond?
She's laughing.
Of course she is. Of course she is. So here's the great part. As you look forward to the future, as good as things were in the past, it's only going to get better now. Because the anchor you've been dragging around yourself for all these years, it's gone, isn't it?
Yes.
So if your life was this good with that weight attached, yeah, you know where I'm going with this, right? Exactly. You thought you had it good until now.
Yeah.
Before we finish up, though, I'd like to think of a snake. In a safe place, maybe in a zoo behind glass or something. Notice what happens. Have you ever been like that before whilst watching a snake?
No.
Is this something?
Yeah.
Something else, eh?
Yeah.
Now, if you like, it's your choice, the zookeeper can come out and bring a safe snake, a non-poisonous snake out, and show you how to handle it. Would you like to experiment with that? Just to maybe touch its head or something. You don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remembering, as a zookeeper, he knows his game, right? So he's going to reach in and bring out a snake that's safe to touch. There you go. Another proof of how powerful your mind is. As you touch it, it's kind of cold and strangely sort of slimy consistency, but it's curious. Ridges all across its skin. And this snake does what a snake does. It's like, not again. Another tourist. How are you feeling doing this? Isn't it an unusual feeling?
Yeah.
Would you ever have imagined yourself being capable of doing this?
I wouldn't look at it.
You wouldn't even look at it, would you?
No.
And here you are touching it. That's insane! How do you feel about yourself?
Proud.
You should be proud.
Yeah.
You did a great thing.
I touched it.
You touched it. You looked at it. It's in your hand.
It didn't pass out.
You didn't do anything. You passed out. You sat there laughing. Before today, you didn't realize you could do this, did you?
No.
Yet here you are doing it. How do you feel about yourself?
Very proud.
You should be.
Yeah.
You should be. How are you doing?
I'm great.
You sure?
Yes.
Any doubts about what's happened? Any doubts about what has just happened here?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
You're not messing with me.
No.
You're not going to be kind to me or something.
No.
You can tell me straight. This hasn't worked, has it?
Yes, it did. I don't
This
feel
can't have
fear.
worked.
No, I don't feel fear.
But we've been up here, what, 20 minutes, half an hour? How can it work so quickly? Because you've been having this for
'Cause you're
several
the
years.
master.
But then, what does that make you who did all the work? I guess that makes you the meta master.
The master. I guess. I'll teach the next class.
Would it be fair to say that that helped you to be willing to even engage, to realize at any point you could stop, right?
That helped a lot, and also, actually that helped tremendously because it was, I knew that there was an exit.
Just stand up so everyone can see you as well, if that's okay with you.
Yeah. What also helped a lot, and not trying to ramble, but when you have like an almost debilitating fear of something.
Yeah,
I mean, I have passed up vacations
yeah,
because there's a thought that I might see a snake.
right.
I have not done activities. My brother-in-law owns a beautiful lake house in Texas on
Right.
the river, and they go boating. And I saw a snake one time and like
That was
lost my
it.
mind, and I
Right.
passed out. And I mean, it's part of it's just embarrassment
Yeah,
because you have no control.
no, I understand.
But the fact that you made it so fast, it's like you're going to start here and then boom, and then you're here.
Yeah.
Was what made it. I mean, part of it is that I trusted what you said.
Right.
But part of it was that it was so fast that I didn't have time to process the fact
Right.
that Because what happened, I was coming home from the school.
Right.
I got off the bus.
Yeah.
My dad was taking out one of those like 200-year-old oak trees.
Right.
It had a huge root ball.
Right.
And they had pulled it over.
Yeah.
And I was a silly kid thinking I'm going to sneak up on my parents.
Yeah.
And I jumped down into the hole. And I
Yeah.
haven't talked about this or thought about this in 30 years.
Right.
But I jumped down into the hole, and I was like squatting down, hee. And I felt something, and I looked down, and there was hundreds of snakes.
Right.
And from all sizes.
Very Indiana Jones, right?
And they were all, there's part of me that was like, in trying to deal with this, they were all garter snakes. They're not poisonous snakes. I mean, it's in South Dakota.
Right. But it's a shock, right?
And they were crawling up my pant legs. They were wound around my legs.
Yeah.
They were crawling all over me, and I lost my mind.
Yeah.
And that's the only
It's
way I
something
can
shocking
describe
for a little
it.
girl to experience, right?
And I just ran screaming, and they were like falling off me, and it was a horrifying experience.
Right.
The fact that I can stand here and talk about this is amazing.
It's pretty much, there you go.
Thank you very much, everybody.